to HeadKick Audio. We are on episode number
14.
We're like probably underage drinking. I assume at least one of us is smoking cigarettes.
I'm definitely stealing shit out of my mom's purse.
Yeah,
definitely.
We're out creating mischief and mayhem.
Always.
At 14, I think I ended up in the hospital with alcohol poisoning.
Damn.
That's either 14 or 15. So we're either there or we'll be there next week. So lots to unpack here with UFC 239, which was thankfully the only MMA card we had to cover this weekend.
Yeah, gave us a little bit of a break.
It was kind of nice. We actually had all this time to set up all kinds of shit, but we didn't.
We almost did. We
almost always do.
Story of our lives.
Right? Well, technical difficulties. If I wasn't such a dumb bastard, we'd probably be a lot farther by now.
Well, not just you. Me too. We're trying out this fucking video thing. Hopefully it works out eventually.
So, since we get to take our sweet-ass fucking time, and we got our new fucking fancy, screen up there.
That's right.
This
big
one,
screen.
This one was actually pretty easy to put up, if I don't say so myself. I got some. I posted some pictures on Instagram showing what we did, how we do. We did okay. We did okay.
Nothing got broke. We only put 4 holes in the wall.
This is true, but you can't see the other two because I missed the stud by about like that much. No big deal. Yeah.
I like that much.
No, come on. TV's not even that big.
Nah.
So, yeah, we were doing some updates to the studio. Trying to bring you guys a better show. Trying to work out live streaming. This isn't live, so
yeah,
that shows where we got with that. But at the same time, we're gonna get shit done. UFC 239, bruv.
Dude,
I got so much to say, and literally all the fucking time in the world. So
I'm still busy riding that coaster, man.
Bruv, it was epic. That card had everything. It had a crazy split decision. It had some fucking stupid, devastating KOs. It had a grappling war. It had fucking, I don't know. No, yeah, chicks got their blocks knocked off.
Right? Oh yeah,
dudes got
killed.
They did.
That's all I can really say about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't see it, I'm wearing a 3-piece and a soda shirt. We'll get to that when we get to it. Just a little bit of history being made, that's all. Right?
All 5 seconds worth of it.
So let's just go ahead and we'll work our way from the bottom to the top, right? Because once you get like towards the top is when things start to get fucking hot and heavy. They start to get pretty hot and heavy.
Yeah, it almost seemed like it was kind of like one of those I'm choking on some agua over here. Like a really insane drama action plotted movie.
Like it was kind of like Crank.
Yeah.
Or Crank High Velocity.
Yeah.
The Crank series with Jason Statham, where he constantly has to fucking keep himself pumped to stay alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this card, because once you started to do this thing, right, it was just like, BAM! Wake up!
My ass was woke. A little makeup.
My ass was woke. Okay, this card was pretty fucking fun. So we're going to go ahead and get with it. And now we have this new monitor, so if you catch me looking up, excuse me, it's because we're doing that whole deal. So, and this is just for you, okay? Just for you, we're doing that. So, actually, while I was setting this one up, you got to watch this whole fight, right?
Oh, the Julia Avila defeating Penny Kianzad via unanimous decision. It was an alright fight.
Every time I look up, fucking Penny's, getting her ass knocked on the floor, Is every time I looked up, that seemed to be what was going on. Was that pretty much the story of the fight?
Pretty much. I mean, Julia, she really liked working in the clinch. She really threw a lot of. First time I've seen it since getting into this, really high thrown knees. So being in the clinch position and just bringing your knee from the floor up to someone's head and connecting like clean.
Now, was her knee like on the floor?
Not on the floor, but from I guess a standing position to putting your leg where your knee where it probably shouldn't be while you're standing. That was really neat to see. She landed a couple of clean ones. It was like, smell it.
Was it really like neat to see? Like you see it because there's a knee.
I like
See what I did there? Showing a little skin too.
Ooh, you better be careful. We might get banned.
Oh shit! That's right. Okay, no more skin.
I think if the Kianza chick, if she would have not been so committed to the clinch battle, I think she probably would have done a lot better. I think her stand-up was a little bit better. She probably could have even taken Julia to the ground and kind of tested her, but she couldn't even really get her on the ground, so it was just pretty much clinch or no.
Clinch or no?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so Julia Avila gets the unanimous decision there. A couple 30-26s and a 30-27. Up next, we had Chance Rencounter defeat Ismail Nordiev.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we're not butchering names tonight.
Oh, I'm trying not to. You know what I mean? I'm trying my best not to. That's all.
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight too.
Yeah, Rencounter was getting beat up to the body.
Oh yeah,
beat up,
big time.
I mean, okay, so the first round was Rencounter getting the shit kicked out of his ribs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end of the first round is when he got. I don't know if it was halfway through or if there was 2 minutes left or whatever.
Yeah,
it's basically half getting broken ribs, and then the other half he got a takedown, and then they just kind of he did enough action. Mm-hmm. He did enough to keep the ref, I guess, away.
Happy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so that round I gave to Nardiev.
Mm.
Rounds 2 and 3, bro.
Yeah.
Flip the script, bro. Rencounter gets the takedown and is just fucking completely dominant. He's not just laying on the dude. He's actively trying to hurt this dude. He's trying to put him away.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see guys that when they get people on the ground, they just kind of get them there and they just lay there. They throw a punch here and there just so they don't get stood up. But no, this guy.
He was really getting after it. He was really getting after it in the second and third round.
Yeah.
Not the first round. In the first round, he was just my ribs hurt, so I'm gonna hold you.
Yeah. But I think that's what kind of turned the tide was he realized, hey, I could take him down, and he can't do shit.
Yeah.
He literally could not do anything.
You see, and the only knock I have, because it was a good performance. Okay. You go from getting your fucking rib cage smashed in to gutting out the next 2 fucking rounds dominantly, right? Is that a word? Dominantly?
Mm-hmm.
That's a word?
That's a very good word.
Okay. Going back to fucking school, that's right. The only thing is hey, he could have finished that fight. Instead of trying to sink in the choke.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Go for the goddamn TKO. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Just start punching the air one off. Yeah, so it got a lot quieter in here.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to keep happening, by the way, because it's summer and I'm not going to fucking turn the air off just because we're recording.
Yeah. Fuck that.
I spoiled you. I spoiled them. I spoiled you guys. Earlier in life. But now, you can even hear the wives talking. That's how good these bad boys are. We can hear you. Be quiet. Anyway, the finishing. Like, he could have finished the fight, and I'm sure once he goes back and watches the tape, he'll see, oh, well, fuck, if I'd have just, kept striking instead of, trying to get the submission.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just gotta let that shit go.
Yeah, because when you flatten the guy out and you just throw, like, maybe 3 or 4 punches.
Make it count.
Yeah, like, just go ham.
A la Jones versus Gustafsson 2. Look at what happened there. He got him on the fucking ground, flattened him out, and was just throwing strikes. He did not have to throw 30.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, this is John Jones, the best motherfucking fighter on planet Earth. Fight me. Okay? But, like, take a page out of Jones's book.
Mm-hmm.
You can finish guys from that position, and you don't have to fucking throw, 100 blows.
Yeah.
So
you could throw 5 and just make sure they count and they're hard hitting. Make them feel it.
Exactly. Plus, you could just make it look like 10 times meaner if you just, like, have the meanest face, and just you looking at the ref like, you want me to hurt this guy?
He's gonna die if you don't stop it.
Right? Well, I think if, you're Jorge Masvidal, they might believe you.
Yeah.
I maybe. Right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so your featured prelim on your Fight Pass, or your early prelims on ESPN Plus, whatever we're going to call it. I think we did Fight Pass, didn't we? We fucking did Fight Pass. Like,
yeah, we did Fight Pass because,
we're
gangsters that have technical difficulties on every fucking thing.
Well, no, it was ESPN. ESPN hates us. This had nothing to do with us other than ESPN hating us.
True. I guess I'm just getting my shit mixed up. There was a lot of shit that happened tonight.
Yeah, well, they did the same thing with the fucking pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
I remember.
So, Edmund Shabazian defeats Jack Marshman in 72 seconds.
That was crazy. I was not expecting that.
Shabazian's a badass, dude.
Yeah.
He's a fucking badass.
And
Marshman is tough, dude. Tough.
And if my notes are correct, I believe he is only like 21 or something like that.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck?
That's
where
what I'm
did they
saying.
find this guy?
That's Contender Series.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think Dana White is playing this one smart. He's building him up slowly. I think Dana has found his groove when it comes to grooming fighters, because right now the UFC is at a point where they got to start grooming guys to be stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we know that just like that, right? In 5 seconds you could lose one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The number 5 is gonna pop up a lot in this episode.
High five.
I didn't want to just
hit the table. Oh well, this thing.
The ultimate 808.
Right. So, but I think that they're kind of doing things right. That's a tough matchup. Mm-hmm. Jack Marshman is tough. He's a tough fighter. Okay, them Welsh boys, they don't play around. They got thick, hard heads. They can take a punch, and they're not half bad fighters. Do I see any of them being champs, the ones in the UFC? Probably not. But that's no knock against them. That's just, other areas of the world,
Yeah.
they're better.
Yeah.
Right? So, he gets this fight. And like I said, 72 seconds. He fucking mauls him. It was a submission, right? Rear naked choke?
Yep, rear naked choke.
I don't even think it was all the way in. I don't even think it was all the way in and he started tapping. I think that happened twice tonight. I mean, it was in, but it wasn't in.
I think he hadn't cinched it in just yet, but on the way,
look at you.
But on the way down, you could probably, you can't really get the camera underneath the guy as he's falling, but I'm pretty sure he was going oh fuck, I'm done.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess when you know that somebody's got it, and I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Sit there and let them choke you for an extra 15 seconds and possibly go out? I mean, you're just losing brain cells at that point.
Don't go out like a pussy.
No. I hate that mentality. Although there is a certain level of respect for, fighters that just refuse to tap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think, to save yourself, to be able to potentially do more, you don't want to end up, dead.
Well, yes, that would be like the ultimate saving yourself is to not die.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
So, I get what you're saying. But this Shabazian kid, I think he's like 10-0 now.
Yeah.
He's only 21.
Perfect.
And the dude fights like that every time. Like, he just runs through dudes.
Mm.
So, although it's nice that Dana White's kind of keeping this little fucking pace with his Contender Series guys, good luck. Shabazian keeps running through people like that. I do not think so. Let's move on to Big ESPN. Let's go ahead and... you already got it up. So we're going to try to get through this first matchup without laughing. Without laughing. Okay? I am immature. But in the famous words, they must already be famous because I'm quoting them. John Morgan, keep an eye out for your dong. Song Yadong defeats Alejandro Perez via knockout. One of the cleanest punches I think I've ever seen. This dude, Yadong, is also 21. Young cat. Young cat. And Perez is a fucking vet. He's seasoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's tough.
He was actually number 13.
Yeah, ranked number 13. Not no more.
Yeah, not anymore.
When he wakes up, the number will be a lot different.
I was trying to think of something funny to say, but the way it sounded in my head was not going to sound as good coming out.
Well, see, sometimes stopping yourself from sounding like an idiot stops you from sounding like an idiot. You know what I mean?
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. So this was the first time, I believe, or at least the first time I remember seeing Song Yadong. And probably better for him that this is the first time I've seen him and that, it's a knockout. So I'm going to remember not, all the plays on his last name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, next time I'll be remembering, I'll be like, oh yeah, haha, he's got a funny last name. But it's going to be the knockout that's really going to stick out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And if he keeps putting on performances like that,
I think he's been, if I heard the broadcast correctly, I think the dude's been a pro, or been fighting at least, since he was like 15.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, all that hard work's paying off, fucking knocking somebody out in 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty groovy. That's pretty groovy. They're bantamweights, so it'll be interesting to see who they pit him up against next. But there is one fight that actually stood out, which would be, one guy just made a splash and the other guy's kind of on his way up already. But Cheeto Vera, he also won tonight. I think Song Yadong versus Cheeto Vera. I think that'd be a great fight. I'm saying there will be fireworks and somebody would, get put to sleep.
Oh yeah, someone would definitely be going to sleep.
Well, via KO or strangulation.
One of the two, someone's going night-night.
Yep. Up next, we had Claudia Gadelha. She fought Randa Marcos. This was the battle of the pretties. And the Brazilian pretty, she won. Unanimous decision. Very boxing heavy attack. There wasn't very many kicks in this fight.
Yeah, I thought for sure she was gonna take Marcos down because that's what I've seen Claudia do.
Well, that's what I've seen both these girls do.
Yeah.
And I think there was maybe 1 or 2 takedown attempts in the whole fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The rest of it was like, all right, who's going to hit first?
Okay, so this was the big snoozer on the card, which is extremely unlike any of their other fights. Okay?
Exactly.
Usually Claudia, whether she's getting her ass kicked or kicking the other girl's ass, She's usually pretty exciting. And same thing with Marcos. You know what I mean? I think that she probably needs a new sports psychologist, because I know that Marcos does, see and talk to one, but she looked pretty tentative out there. She looked like, I wouldn't say quite like a deer in the headlights, but I will say that she did look uncomfortable in the striking exchanges. When she was throwing, she didn't look herself.
She seemed like she didn't have that conviction of following through, like how she probably normally. Yeah,
she didn't have that swag.
Yeah, no swag. Although I did like that spinning back fist that she threw. That was pretty sweet. I think if that would have landed, it would have been lights out.
Well, and see, that's the thing too, is Gagella, she's been dropped. Okay, she's been rocked. And now she's over working with Frankie Edgar and Marlon Moraes over in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So working with beasts, those two right there are they're fucking pretty badass.
Yeah.
Okay, you could find shittier training partners. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a surprise that she would like to keep it on the feet. Because that's where she's looked like she hasn't been so great as of late. Yeah. And Marcos, while she's pretty okay on the feet as well, she's got very underrated grappling. I mean, her last fight, she subbed Overkill. So I don't think that Claudia wanted to test that. I think she wanted to try out her new striking under the tutelage of G.O.A.T, I believe it is.
Gotcha.
So she looked great. The cardio, which is something that she said that she's worked on, the cardio looked good. She didn't look tired through 3 rounds, albeit it wasn't the hardest of 3 rounds. It kind of looked more like a sparring match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think Claudia was trying out a new outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Randa was just, trigger shy.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how I saw the fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They both could have done way more. Do I think that, it was a shit decision? No. You know what I mean? Just because there was low on action, it doesn't mean that there wasn't a clear winner. The clear winner was Claudia. So, either way, I enjoyed the show.
I always enjoy when chicks fight.
Yeah, especially when hot chicks fight. Anyway, so we were just talking about Marlon Cheeto Vera. He got a submission in round 2 over Nohelan Hernandez. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, sir.
Nohelan Hernandez. I called him something Hernandez the last time we were talking about Hernandez. I think it was because I didn't know how to say Nohelan.
Probably.
But it literally sounds like the way it's spelled.
Mm-hmm.
So Nohelan was actually pulled from LFA 72, which is going to be taking place here in Phoenix. Well, we're not here, but somewheres in Arizona. We're going to call it the Phoenix area. That way. Wait, which way? No.
It is that way.
Backwards. Phoenix is behind me.
Phoenix is that way.
Whoa. I'm saying Mexico.
Yeah, we're going to Phoenix.
Oh man, pretty close. So yeah, he was gonna fight Anthony Burchak in the main event. Mm-hmm. So now, LFA is gonna find an opponent for Anthony. So I don't think we have to worry about that. They're pretty good about that shit. Yeah. So I think it's probably a little bit too late for me to drop to 35. And plus, I don't think that I would want to fight a homie like Anthony. So, but if he needed the paycheck, I'd go fight him. I'd go get my ass kicked so he could get paid. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he gets pulled from LFA 72 to take on Marlon Vera, Cheeto's original opponent, Sugar Sean, pulled because of some pulsing or something, kind of like a John Jones deal. With the drug test, USADA pulls him out. So I
wish they would get their shit together and figure out what types of supplements, if there are any being used, to get those tested too.
Well, okay.
Instead of just the fighter, because if the fighter gets popped like one time and then they test him again, nothing happens. Like they might need to just test the supplements that they're taking, if they're taking any at all, to see what the hell is popping up, so that way they can be like, oh, this chemical reacts with this other chemical that's in this supplement a certain way, and then that's what's going to cause it to have you pop.
Well, I don't think it's like any type of chemicals interacting with each other. I just think it's chemical companies that, you know, they have this product, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, I'm just kind of like regurgitating something that I heard. Okay, so these performance enhancing, not drugs, but like, you know, the stuff that they take, their supplements or whatever, they could not contain any you know, illegal or banned substances, right? Mm-hmm. It'll say that on the ingredients, but what did they make before they made that batch? You know what I mean? Yeah. They're making everything in the same facility, so they could be making stuff that does have illegal stuffs in it. So you're getting traces of these, you know, banned substances in your unbanned little
container. Yeah.
You know, I'm saying like little. Usually those things are like this fucking big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, nonetheless, a lot of these guys, I don't think they're popping dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at some of these dudes and you go, okay, yeah, that dude was fucking juiced to the gills. You know what I mean? And then you look at other guys like fucking Beanpole ass Sugar Sean O'Malley. Yes, the dude does knock people out and he looks pretty good doing it. But do you really think that little fucking string bean is taking steroids?
No way.
No. He's not even fully developed. You know what I mean? So if he was taking steroids, he would be a little bit farther along, don't you think?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those things don't just, you know, make your fighting style more attractive. Like, it affects your body physically. You know, when Vitor Belfort, Vanderlei Silva, Chael Sonnen, they all fucking doped. You know what I mean? And what did they look like? You know what I mean? A couple of them looked pretty fucking juiced, you know?
Pretty beastly.
You know what I mean? I think Chael used his more for, like, the recovery. You know, because most of this stuff is just, well, we're going on a huge tangent, but we got time. It's mostly like forward recovery, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just makes it so that you recover faster so you can train more. It doesn't make your punches more accurate. It doesn't make your kicks more accurate, but it gives you more time to train those things. So I guess in a way it kind of does, but I'm not gonna take a steroid and then be like, hey man, I punch better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work that way.
I'm gonna take a steroid and fucking go punch a brick wall and be like, okay, I'm good.
Well, I wouldn't punch a brick wall with or without steroids. That's just bad for your hands.
Hey, you never know what.
Are you going to Kyle?
Huh?
Are you going full blown Kyle?
Maybe.
Jesus. All right.
I don't have my monster with me, so.
Well, anyways, you know, at the end of round one, Nohelan Hernandez was in control of Chito Vera, and it looked like it was going to be, you know, a long night for Mr. Vera.
Oh, yeah.
And then he fucking turned it around in the blink of an eye. I'm pretty sure there was like 5 seconds in there somewhere where the fight changed and then it was all over. And that was the second fight where the rear naked choke, like, it wasn't even all the way in and he was already tapping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that just goes to show you, like, and the first takedown was so sick because he, like, I think it was like probably like a knee to the body or something like that, and then he just kind of like stuck to him like a fucking leech. It was kind of.
Oh, was that when he threw the knee and then like threw that leg hook in? And as the guy was falling, he was just. It was like a seamless transition.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah, a lot of the grappling on this card was pretty fucking, like, pretty top notch, entertaining stuff. See, I hate when people say, well, grappling, that ground shit's boring. Bruv. Go watch the opening fight of this main card and tell me that fight sucked. If you tell me that fight sucks, we're gonna have to fight.
we can make it happen.
Yeah. Well, you didn't think that fight sucked, so I don't think me and you were fighting.
Oh no, we'll never fight.
Yeah. Never say never, bro. Okay. In your ESPN, your big ESPN preliminary main event, because we like to give everything titles here at HeadKick Audio. You had your across the pond, and Arnold Allen came into the UFC, kind of just been working his way quietly to 5-0, and then they finally give him like a pretty decent test in former Strikeforce and WEC lightweight champ Gilbert Melendez. Melendez ain't no joke. He's kind of like, one of the last pioneers of, the lighter weight guys. You know what I mean? When I say lighter weights, when I say the lighter guys, I'm talking lightweight and lower. You know what I mean? Because the lightweight, it wasn't even really a division until guys like Eve Edwards and, at least at the UFC's level. Eve Edwards, BJ Penn, fucking, a lot of those dudes kind of open up that division for the UFC. Jens Pulver, you know what I mean? So, seeing Gilbert Melendez kind of not being able to, figure it out this late in the game, it was kind of heartbreaking a little bit.
Yeah, normally I'm able to take notes on both fighters because both the fighters do like certain things that I'll write down and talk about. The only thing that I could really write down that Gilbert had was he had his strikes. That was about it. They were just trading strikes back and forth. But dude, Arnold, man. With a name like Arnold, you gotta bring it.
No!
No, you got to punch him in the face.
So
yes, he did.
Yes, a lot. Many times over. Arnold Allen looking like he could be a thing at featherweight. He's got a killer stash when it's full bloomed. He's got an attractive fighting style. England and they kind of need another guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, sign me up. This dude looked pretty good. He really frustrated Gilbert Melendez. Like I said, it was pretty sad when like the biggest takeaway from Gilbert Melendez's performance is tough. He is a tough dude. Always has been though. So that's nothing new. You don't come out of that like, wow, I didn't realize he was so tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been a tough motherfucker forever. Okay? So it's kind of depressing when that's what you can say after a Gilbert Melendez fight. So, but he didn't get finished. But we also didn't see the same type of pressure from Gilbert Melendez. We also didn't see like any evolution whatsoever. Yeah. This was his first fight back in almost 2 years or 2+ years. I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen Gil in the cage. But it kind of seems like maybe the sport has passed him by. You know what I mean? I get it. It was your first fight in a couple years. Maybe there was some ring rust there. Maybe you don't want to come back against a guy that's on his way up. You know what I mean? Maybe fight a veteran.
Yeah.
Fight a Clay Guida, because I'd fucking watch that shit again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they fought like 1 or 2 times. So I think there was a title that had changed hands between those two. I think like in the WEC. So, but yeah, you're seeing a lot of these guys. Fuck, dude, I've been watching them forever, and now they're the sport's passing them by, or they're retiring. You know what I mean? Or they just haven't fucking said a goddamn thing. Like just a couple weeks ago, Matt Wyman just had a fight out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I haven't seen Wyman since like 2012. You know what I mean? Fast forward 2019. That's a long fucking time. Maybe it was 2014. Whatever. And then like Josh Thompson. Where did he go? You know what I mean? I know where he went. He's over there fucking tearing shit up over at Bellator, like at the broadcasting table. You know what I mean? But like, you know, a lot of these guys, they kind of just either go away, they kind of transition into something else, or you know what I mean. So it's kind of tough to see, like, because there's a lot of it happening. There's a lot of it going on. Remember a couple weeks ago, there was all those retirements. Jimmy Manoa, Alexander Gustafsson, King Mo, fucking dude, crazy shit. So, but I could go on like about retirements and old fights and stuff. So check this out. Somebody had brought it up. I don't remember who it was. I might have even just been listening to another show, but they told me to go rewatch Joe Soto versus Joe Warren. This is a Bellator fight, right? So I YouTubed that shit, and this must have been like between like 2009, so like between 2009 and 12, okay? Because this was early Bellator. This was like Bellator 37 or some shit like that. So it was old, you know what I mean? This was still when Jimmy Smith and Sean Wheelock were the fucking the broadcasting team. You know what I mean? Sean Wheelock, he now does like, I've seen him do Combate, I've seen him do bare knuckle, so he does some other shit. But and Jimmy Smith, we just saw him he was broadcasting for Titan. So, but yeah, it was actually kind of cool to kind of go back in time and, you know, see that old team together. But bro, you should go watch that fight, because fucking Soto was having his way with Warren, kind of making Warren look like Chael Sonnen when Chael Sonnen gets a good hit. You know what I mean? Well, when he takes a good hit, you know what I mean? How he's just kind of like reaching for takedowns, like you know, like the mummy from the children's cartoon, right? Yeah. Joe Warren was doing that shit. And then in the second round, dude, he fucking blasts that dude with a fucking knee, knocks him out. Like, it was just like, it was like, you know how you flip a pancake? Like, oh, this side's done. Oh, yeah, dude. It was like that, man. He was done.
Yeah, I'll definitely go back and I'll check that out.
Yeah, check it out. I think the video that I watched, it was like 16 minutes, but the fight was like only 10 minutes worth. So that's what I watched. So go back and watch that shit. You guys, I guess, you know, since you're here and you heard that, might as well go check it out. Shall we move on to the main card?
The main card, which was fucking amazing.
That's right. It says a lot about a UFC pay-per-view, right? When the main event is the least interesting fight.
Yeah.
Okay, because don't get me wrong, okay? That was a good main event. It wasn't a great main event. It was a good main event. What made it so good, in my opinion, right, was the fact that Thiago has ridiculous power and can shut anybody's lights off, and usually he doesn't give a fuck, and he throws caution to the wind, and he just gets shit done. You know what I mean? He just happened to run into the greatest fighter of all time and couldn't make it happen this time. There was a couple
scares.
Well, like asterisks, or however the fuck you say that goddamn word, next to his performance. But we'll save that for last because it's the main event. So we're gonna go ahead and We're gonna talk about this main card opener: Michael Maverick Chiesa versus Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. I don't know why I made him French, but I already did it, so I'm not gonna take it back. That is how you grappled, son.
Yeah, that was if I was to ever really get into like the whole like wrestling thing or grappling or whatever they call it, I would definitely watch this, or I would show someone wanting to get into grappling or wrestling. Like, this is what you should aspire to be.
Yes.
I mean, you'll have some of these fighters that they'll go out and they'll take people down, and all they do is lay on them for the entire 5 minutes, and they just go, "Oh, I'm just gonna stay here and go, okay, just so we don't get stood up, just so I don't lose my position. But if you really want to try to dominate and you want to keep it moving on the ground, these two guys.
Well, see, this is what. Okay, so like, let's just. All right, we're gonna make a hot dog, right? So the bun is gonna be the fans, because without the fans, you ain't got nothing, right? Okay, the hot dog is gonna be your main event. Or not your main event, sorry, your main card, right? Okay, and then the ketchup, right, is Diego Sanchez. The mustard is Maverick. Now, I went about it that way because I like mustard, I don't like ketchup. So I gave the mustard side to the winner, right? But so, like, they made the perfect opener to that fucking main card. Because that... Sure. I really do think that this fight is going to do a lot for people who think like, oh, when those fighters go to the ground, it sucks, it's boring. It's so boring. It's like, watch this shit, dude.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat.
Not all grappling is fucking boring, and these guys fucking proved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought Diego.
That's a tough son of a bitch, dude.
Dude, he
what
is tough.
Fuck?
One goofy looking motherfucker when he tries to be all serious and shit.
You keep talking, I'll bring it up.
Excuse me. When they were doing the fucking introductions, he looked like the fucking SpongeBob meme.
I don't know if y'all can see it, but he looked like that guy right there. I don't know if the player's gonna hit it or what, but there we go.
Yeah, with SpongeBob all like, But, I mean, there was a couple of times where I definitely thought that he was going to turn it around. But, dude, every time he did.
Chiesa was one step ahead.
Yeah.
One step ahead.
It was like he was spying on him or something. I'm just kidding. You can't do that in fighting. This ain't no fucking football.
No, Chiesa was a lot bigger. But
he did look really huge.
Yeah, it looked like a lightweight fighting a middleweight. It looked crazy.
Yeah.
It was like Frankie Edgar fighting Luke Rockhold. You know what I mean?
It was ridiculous looking.
I don't think it was like that fucking like big of a transparent or fucking
comparison.
Yeah. But it was pretty fucking like it was a noticeable difference between the two athletes.
Definitely.
But just Diego Sanchez gives zero fucks. He does not care, and he wasn't like okay. So he lost 90% of the positions, right? Mm-hmm. But he was able to get the better of a couple exchanges. You know what I mean? So I don't know where you go from here if you're Diego Sanchez. You know what I mean? Because you're a way undersized welterweight. Okay, and you're getting up in age. I believe he's like 37. So that cut to lightweight, that probably hurts. You know what I mean? So Diego would be the perfect example of why you should create the 165-pound division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't fucking understand why they don't have this shit already. Create 65, keep 25, give us a 95. I would like a 95. Because then 85 to 205, that's a 20. That's a 20-pound weight difference, buddy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then fuck it, while you're at it, add another belt. Do it like a cruiserweight between light heavyweight and heavyweight. You know what I mean? So I don't understand it, like why the UFC hasn't, because they're all concerned about their athletes when it comes to cutting weight. But then it's like, I'm not going to add another division just because you have trouble making 70. Or just because you have trouble making 55. That's not my fucking problem. You know what I mean? And Chiesa even said that if they created a 65 and took away 70 and put in a 75, he would go to 75. He wouldn't go to 65.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said he would go up. He wouldn't go down.
Yeah.
So he said he's never going to 55 again. Doesn't look like he needs to.
Yeah. It doesn't even look like he could probably even, I mean...
How did he make it before?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, just looking at the guy, you're like, this dude made 55? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and can you believe that fucking James Vick, who's even bigger than Chiesa, makes it? And Vick is bigger everywhere, except for the head. Vick has a strangely, like, small head for how big the dude is.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, arms, legs, fucking torso, everything is bigger on Vic. That you can see, anyways. Everything is bigger on Vic than Chiesa.
Mm.
And Chiesa looks like a fucking huge welterweight. So, it'll be very, very interesting to see what the UFC does from here. Because, I mean, you can't, like, really deny the fact that they need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If not, okay, so, fine. You don't want to do it for business, don't do it for business. You have an attachment to the 75-pound, okay, fine, you have an attachment to that. But if it's going to benefit your fighters so they can put on more exciting fights, plus it gives you an extra belt. And how often do they throw these interim belts into fucking play just to sell a pay-per-view? But they don't want to make another belt out of fucking thin air? And I got one for you. Okay, I've been sitting on this one for a fucking minute. Okay, now I don't know if anybody else has had this idea. Okay, I don't know if anybody else has had this idea, but you have Conor McGregor, who says when he comes back to fighting in the UFC, he wants to come back as a main event. Okay, Conor. Well, I got this guy over here that, you know, he's coming off a loss. But we're going to create this division, and he's fought in both. And he's done so much for this company, we're just going to go ahead and fucking give it to him. Because, you know, his last fight, it ended controversially. You know, his eye blew up. So we're going to do Conor Cowboy for the 165-pound belt. Now, look, I get it. You got two guys coming off of a loss, fighting for a brand new division's belt. Okay? I get it. Cowboys fucking earned it. Okay? Say what you want, but Cowboy has earned it through his career. Not his current streak. Okay? But for what he's done for the company, I think, you know what? Hey, you want to fight for a title. You want to fucking, you know, this will be your last one. Then after that, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You better fucking work your ass to one. But, I mean, that's a fucking win-win. It gets Conor back into fighting, okay? Which they want that because they like that money. You know what I mean? Conor doesn't have to cut weight. Cowboy doesn't have to cut weight. I mean, I think
healthy fighters.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big win. I think that's a pretty big win, buddy.
Yeah, that's a win-win-win for everyone.
Yeah, because if you're telling me that you wouldn't watch that title fight, you're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. Okay, and like I said, I get it. There's a lot of fucking, like, you know, redacted and red tape, and you know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of that just doesn't make any sense, and it should not happen. But I think that's probably why it should happen. Because
I could see that. I could see that happening if they really wanted to do something like that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to create the division, then does it really, like, matter? Because everybody is undefeated in that division, right? They're all 0-0 in that division.
Yeah.
So I guess the divisional standings, if they were, like, they don't matter. So have Conor and Cowboy fight for the title, and then put together a little fucking tournament.
Took the words right out of my noggin.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
I'm in there.
We'll get out of there.
Okay. Jan Blachowicz.
I called him Blachowicz.
I've been calling him Blachowicz, but after hearing fucking what's his name? John Anik? John Anik don't fuck around. Okay? John Anik knows every single one of these dudes' names and how to say it. And I believe he was saying Blachowicz.
I think
John Blachowicz. So I'm gonna ride with Anik on this one, even though I've been calling him Blachowicz for
well,
years.
that's just how it's.
I know.
Sounds like how it's spelled.
Okay. Well, anyways, your Poland boy knocked out Luke Rockhold. Silly.
Oh, dude.
There's probably going to be some serious damage there. I think Rockhold needs to take a whole year off. Minimum, dude. That was brutal.
What do you think about that head kick, like literally right at the buzzer?
At the bell? At the end of round one?
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking sick.
Do you think that was illegal because of the position, or do you think it was
I'd have to rewatch it.
circumstantial?
I'd have to rewatch it in the slow motion, but it doesn't really matter because just because you are told to fight until the ref stops you, right? So, I mean,
Sorry.
you know when the end of a round is, and if he was already throwing the strike, I don't know why I said that. Okay, so sorry. Let me start over. Okay. You know when the end of a round is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear the fucking clacks. Even sometimes the refs will tell you, short time, short time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, like, you have all these indicators of when the round is going to end. I didn't see, like, exactly when the strike was thrown. I just know that it was either on or close to the final bell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if he threw the strike as the buzzer sounded, then there was no control over that strike.
Yeah.
But if it was like what Jermaine Durandamy was doing to Holly Holm,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like if it's that blatant,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That was a fight we just watched too. It was Darren Stewart versus somebody, and both of them, like after the buzzer, were still fucking throwing punches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, you gotta stop. Go to your corner.
So, I mean, like I said, it depends on like when exactly the strike was thrown, and we didn't get like a replay like with the sound.
Yeah.
We just got the replay of the kick. You know what I mean? Or if we did, I don't fucking remember because I don't remember shit. My brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
No, I remember
I think
fights.
it was just the kick.
Yeah.
They didn't do any sound with it or anything.
Okay. But I mean, I didn't think it was illegal. So, did it have any bearing on what happened in round 2? Probably.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah.
Should Herb Dean have done something about, the dude kind of just like, you know what I mean? It was bang, he gets kicked in the head and he stands up and Herb Dean's like, stop! And fucking, Luke is literally like resting on Herb Dean. Like,
alright, what do I do, Herb? What do I do?
you know what I mean? He had to have felt like how much pressure, like, that's like probably 215, 220 pounds of just fucking, rocked ass rock hold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, fuck me running, bro. He gets fucking, like, flatlined. I mean, he wasn't like, beep, until that last punch that was completely unnecessary.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? But, fuck, dude. He fucked this shit up.
Yeah, it just sucks because I like when people, get knockouts and stuff, but I really do like it when people can actually
pull their punches.
Yeah, they control themselves. Like, they don't give in to the whole adrenaline rush and, you go until the ref stops you. No,
it is within their right, though.
It is, but at the same time, you fucking nail somebody and you watch them, either go stiff or you watch them go limp or, whatever. You can clearly tell that they're dead. Don't go over there and
about necrophilia? Or you're talking about limp and stiff and dead?
That's a conversation for another day, bro.
Okay, so Blachowicz, he gets it done. Round 2. Ices the guy, puts him down. Rockhold is making his debut at light heavyweight. He's also kind of looking like the sport passed him by.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Probably like he didn't prepare enough or something.
Well, he's just been kind of walking around with a certain type of swag, for lack of a better word. I've said that like 2 or 3 times already.
I think you like that word swag.
I don't. I actually fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. But it is appropriate here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's been kind of walking around with that, that attitude, like he was untouchable, that he knew something we all didn't. What we all didn't know is that he was extra tired, and Blachowicz just gave him some sleeping medicine.
And he has a glass chin.
So, It's going to take longer to talk about this fight than the actual fight itself.
Exactly. Oh my god.
I could literally just read you the result, and it's going to take longer than the fight. Jorge Masvidal defeats Ben Askren via flying knee and punches.
This is what it looked like.
I think it took me 7 seconds, and I even left out some stuff. It took me 7 seconds to read that.
Yeah. So
it only took 5 seconds. History.
Yeah. Fastest knockout in UFC history. Not just the division, but the entire UFC. And how long has it been around? Since like what? Early 90s maybe?
Oh, the UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like to have the fastest knockout since the UFC's inception, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I was watching the replay over and over. Well, the replay I was watching was actually, it was a 14-second replay. Because it showed him, kind of leaning up against the fence, right? And then it shows him start. It shows Ben Askren doing his fucking dad bod walk across, and then it shows, fucking do bink, and then it shows, and then it shows the, and yeah. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know these guys were having, that stupid fucking Twitter war bullshit that people do, but, the fact that you clearly hit the guy, you clearly see this dude is stiff as a fucking board. And you still go in and do like 2 or 3 extra shots to the face, knowing full well that he is like gone.
This dude was so stiff. Okay, normally when you're fucking, when you get knocked out and you get hit, like your fucking, your fucking head moves.
Yeah.
With those extra punches that Masvidal was throwing to fucking Askren's dome piece, okay, his whole fucking body was moving.
Yeah.
Like his head was just one. Like it was all one. It was strange. Askren came into this undefeated, my friend, and we picked Askren to win this fight because Masvidal tends to do poorly against wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get it. The way that they were trying to build up this fight was to make it seem like, oh, well, Jorge's not very bad on the ground. You know what I mean? And he's not very bad on the ground. But he does poorly against good wrestlers.
Yeah.
Okay? So I was basing my pick off of that. I only got to drink a sip of my beer, lost it in that much time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This was the craziest 5 seconds of my life.
Definitely.
Like, and I've seen a lot of seconds. And they've all been crazy. But these 5, they were the craziest. Really not much more to talk about other than,
Wow.
Wow. So should Masvidal get the title shot?
Fuck yeah. I mean, go out and do something like this. Like you cannot just say no. That was a fluke. No, like,
come on, don't want none of that, dude. The last 2 dudes that he's fought, he's killed. I've seen the obituaries, Jonathan. They are dead. Okay? Till isn't out there stealing taxis. He's dead. Askren isn't out there being funky. He's dead.
he's smelling funky.
So, well, as most dead people do, okay? I'm telling you, Usman don't want none of that. He don't want none of that. Okay? He's probably going to be like, fight one more time and then we'll see. I don't know why I gave him a Jamaican accent, but I tend to give, like, the worst accents. It has no bearing on his skin color, mind you. None of my accents ever do. But yeah, I mean, okay, look. Masvidal is only on a 2-fight win streak. Count it. 1, 2. Okay? Or like, what was it?
Three? Yeah, 3.
What was that?
That was Amanda Nunes when she was giving her victory speech.
Oh, okay. What was the...
I forgot what she had said. Like, she was talking so fast I couldn't really...
Okay, but I do remember because she was like, 3!
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
Wait a minute. You know what I mean? So...
Well, I mean, I honestly really do think that this Masvidal Askren fight, I think that was more of a you win, you get a title shot. I mean, come on, Askren, if he would have won, he's 20-0. Yeah, give him a shot. See.
So you think he leapfrogs? Okay, definitely Tyron Woodley. Okay, because that was a lopsided decision.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Who's the other guy? Rafael Dos Anjos. Rafael Dos Anjos has a recent loss to Usman. Colby is on like a 7-fight win streak. Former interim welterweight champ until they just took his belt away because he couldn't defend. He leapfrogs Colby. Now I'll tell you this right now. In that lineup, Colby would let it happen. Colby and Masvidal, homies.
Yeah.
Best buddies, as a matter of fact. 2 peas in a pod.
Well, yeah.
So, Colby wouldn't get upset. Okay, Colby wouldn't get upset if Masvidal got the shot.
Yeah.
Okay, which, now that I remember that's probably what's going to happen. Because Colby is going to be fighting Robbie Lawler. Rafael Dos Anjos is fighting, I believe, Leon Edwards. Tyron Woodley, I believe, is still injured. Because he got pulled from the Lawler fight because I think he injured his hand.
Yeah.
And then Kamaru right now is on the mend from an injury he sustained, I think, prior to his fight with Tyron Woodley. So right now, it's looking like either his next fight's Tyron Woodley or his next fight is for the belt. To be honest with you, I think I would watch either of those fights.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be a fucking entertaining fight.
But, I mean, it remains to be seen. Dana White kind of likes especially in the welterweight division, like, whatever was the last coolest performance, that's where he's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, your co-main event. Holly Holm getting Holly Homed.
I think I cried a little. I think I shed a tear.
Really?
No, not really. Fuck that.
Okay.
I thought about it, but I was like, no.
I would have had that decision main event gone the other way. Right? So Nunes comes out, and right away she's applying a lot of pressure. But Holly Holm's footwork is kind of like countering like all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but they're both throwing a lot of kicks. And Holly Holm, like, she's a fucking multi-world champion boxer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really get to see that a lot in her fights because of her kicking game. You know, she kind of uses her legs as jabs. You know what I mean? Which is what won her first title in the UFC. Well, her only title, I should say, when she defeated Ronda Rousey. I think that was back in, like, was that 2012 too?
I think so, yeah.
It feels like it was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, so they were kind of like canceling each other out, except for Amanda's like aggression, constantly coming forward, and every time she threw, it was to kill Holly Holm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we get to like towards the end of the round, and you can start to see Amanda pick up on things that Holly Holm is doing, because as soon as Holly lifted her leg, right? Amanda comes upstairs. She Holly Holmed her.
Yep, foot clean to the face.
And then Holly Holm almost did the bitch Kohea thing, right?
Yeah.
Where she got kicked and then she was like, oh!
Take me out!
Yeah, she took her. Take me to church! Right? Yeah, she took her to church and then some. So now Amanda Nunes is in this. It's unfamiliar territory. She's cleaned out one division, but she's got a belt in another division, right? And she says, I want to go and defend my 45 belt, which is kind of weird because after she knocked out Cyborg, she was saying, I might vacate this thing. I don't know if I want it. You know what I mean? So
I wonder if this maybe put a little bit of a giddy up to her.
No, I think what it is, and I'm purely speculating I'm purely speculating here, but her girlfriend, Nina Ansaroff, she went on a quiet little run where she went like 3-0, and then in her last fight she ran into Tatiana Suarez, and arguably could have beat her. You know what I mean? I don't think she won, but had there been any more time, a couple more, one more round in that fight, and she probably could have. You know what I mean? So Nina went on, like I said, she's 3-1 in her last 4. So maybe Nina says, hey, you know what? I've been pretty competitive. I know that I wanted to, stop fighting so that we can do the family thing, but maybe I have more to give the sport. And so Amanda says, okay, baby, I got you. I got these belts. I might as well do something with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it kind of opened up the door to, you know what? Okay, fine, fuck it. I got these 2 belts. Let's defend. They pull Holly Holm from her fight with Aspen Ladd. Okay, so now Aspen Ladd ain't fighting Holly Holm. Holly Holm comes in here and gets her ass knocked out. Well, okay, so I think next is going to be the 45 defense, and that's going to be against the winner of the Spencer and Cyborg.
Spencer and Cyborg, yeah.
Okay, so if Cyborg wins that fight, that sets up a huge rematch. Okay, that's going to be. There's going to be lots of dollars attached to that fight for Amanda Nunes, and I think she realizes that, and I think she probably thinks in her mind, I iced this bitch once. Believe me, I can do that shit again. You know what I mean? Amanda's got fucking crazy power, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like someone that, I guess I shouldn't say that small, but. Just someone with like that type of body build would have that much power. But I guess that's what they train for,
Yeah, these chicks are fucking strong, dude.
Yeah.
Tisha Torres, right? She's like 5'4", tiny tornado. Yeah, she can probably bench you.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, these chicks are fucking incredible. I'm like super stoked that there's they're in the UFC. Invicta, the all-female promotion. LFA's put fucking their women fighters on the map too. So like I don't discriminate. I like all MMA. You know what I mean? So but I see that's where it's going. Okay, and then check this out. So I think next week is going to be, I think that's UFC Sacramento, right? And that's going to be Aspen Ladd versus Jermaine Durandamy. So if the winner of that fight, maybe they need some time off, and maybe all this can work out so that Amanda fights Cyborg, right? Whether she wins or loses, she goes back down to defend her women's bantamweight title against the winner of that fight. Because there is no clear number 1 contender right now. There is no clear number 1 contender at bantamweight. So I think you can make a strong case for Aspen Ladd was supposed to fight Holly Holm, okay? And instead she's fighting Jermaine Durandamy, who was the inaugural featherweight champion. So if I'm Amanda Nunes, I'm kind of hoping that Jermaine wins, because then it's like, give me that bitch next, because she was a former champ, and I haven't iced her yet. Yeah, I'd have to look back at her career. Look that up while I go on about this bullshit. But I think that would be like a picture perfect scenario, right? Because that gives you your next year of fights.
Mm-hmm.
It gives the bantamweight division time to get another contender going, right? And then it gives featherweight some time to sort it to grow. You know what I mean? Right now, I think there's only like 5 fighters: Amanda Nunes, Kat Zingano, Megan Anderson, the Spencer, and Cyborg. I've named all 5 women in the featherweight division.
Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on with this
What
thing.
did you do? Just open up a new window.
Click, click, click.
Yeah, I know. Click, click, click. What are you doing?
I'm trying to find that chick that you were talking about. But they don't have it. I don't know why I don't have it up.
Yeah, okay, well, look. Just go down. Go to Randami versus Ladd.
Oh, there it is right there.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
So
Thank
it's
you.
July 13th. That's next week, right?
Yep, next weekend.
Oh, man. Looks like we're going to have a lot of fights to watch. Okay, and then click on her. She's 8-3 overall, Jermaine Randami.
She looks fucking crazy.
Yeah. Has she fought?
She fought. Looks like she fought
Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes, and she lost, and then she fought Holly Holm and won.
Well, still, I don't think was that a title fight?
No.
The
It doesn't look
Amanda
like it.
Nunes versus Jermaine Randami. UFC Fight Night. No, that was all the way in 13.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think Amanda was a champion back then.
No.
Okay, so she fought her, but it was a million fucking years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I
but
think
she still holds that W over her, so.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess I don't know. But still, it gives the division some time to figure itself out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably like her next 12 months, right? 2 fights, 2 divisions, 12 months. It gives both divisions time to figure themselves out. Plus, it gives Nina some time to go on another run.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, look, here's what I'll do. I'll fight for another 12 months. Okay? And you'll fight for another 12 months. And then you do what you can. And, you know, if you don't make it, then we'll start talking about a family. You know what I mean? Kind of basically giving themselves a timetable and giving themselves options.
Yeah. Like, at least go ahead and give it like that one last run before you truly hang it up.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Which is, something we all do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? One more time. One more time. One more time.
And
You know what I mean?
a lot of people want to go out on that win, but then you have, fighters that'll go out there and all they do is lose.
Yeah.
And they're like, I gotta get that win. It's like, no, dude, you've lost like 6 in a row. I think you're done.
Yeah, we were looking at Melvin Goulard's record, and I think he's lost like 8 of his last 9. And he's gone from fucking lightweight all the way up to like middleweight. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he's had trouble with weight. Weight has been an issue. You know what I mean? Even in the UFC. So, yeah, there are people out there that, just either A, they just like to fight, win or lose, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, B, they're chasing that win.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing replaces that feeling. You know what I mean? That's why fighters stay in the game too long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this could turn into, maybe Nina has her next fight, and even if she wins, she's kind of just like, I don't need to be a champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got 2 belts. I'll just take one of yours. Anyways, so yeah, it was pretty slick though. Head kick KO, round 1. I enjoyed it. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole ordeal, right? John Jones versus Thiago. Excuse me. Thiago Maheta Santos. Johnny Bones getting it done via split decision. Split!
That was fucking crazy.
A judge thought Thiago won. Now look, I get it. The rounds were close.
Mm.
Okay, the rounds were close. But if you look at that fight, you know who won the fight. Mm. I'm not talking about, by damage. I'm not talking about by control. I'm talking about, like, the fight overall. Not as these dudes are walking out the fucking octagon. You know what I mean? But just the fight itself.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stats are as I'm watching it. Sometimes they'll throw some shit up, but I don't really pay attention to those. You know what I mean? I'm too busy focused on the fight. I'm too busy fucking, I probably could have crushed that beer bottle I was drinking because that fight was super intense because Maheta has the ability to end the fight with any strike. Any strike he throws could put your fucking lights out.
And even after, dude, something popped in his knee. His knee is fucking broke. He's got to go get that looked at. But even after, having something go wrong, he was still fucking throwing strikes with that leg, connecting with the knee, with the shin, with like everything. Normal person would have just been like, dude, I'm hurt. I ain't using that limb. But
normal people would have been like, ow, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, true.
That's what normal people wouldn't be in there to begin with. Normal people stub their toe and they call in sick. You know what I mean? That's what normal people do.
I told you that in confidence, man.
Well, sorry. Cat's out of the bag now. Thiago gave 0 fucks. Okay?
He did.
Now, look. Here's one takeaway. Okay? Because it wasn't a great fight. It was a good fight, but it wasn't a great fight. Okay? It wasn't a, man, that was a badass title fight. No, that was probably one of Jones's lackluster fights. It was kind of like him versus a Tennessee boy, OSP, right? It was just, John Jones is so good. Sometimes he's boring. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he was fighting this fight a little bit smarter than what he probably would.
Could you imagine if one of those strikes had really fucking connected? We wouldn't be saying and still. We'd be saying and new.
Exactly.
And there would be a box of Kleenex right here because I'd be crying my fucking eyes out because my boy got knocked out.
Yeah, see, and I think, some of a fight like this would be really boring, but you have to look at it through the fighter's eyes. You're a fan that paid, X amount of dollars to watch this fight, watch 2 dudes just beat the fucking shit out of each other. But as a fighter, you're going in there and you're going to win. You're not going in there to, get hurt.
That W is what's most important.
Exactly. And I think just you stick to the game plan. If you're wanting to avoid the strikes and you want to keep it standing, you've got to fight smart. And I think it was in his post interview with Rogan. They were playing a chess match, and that's just what was going on in there.
Yeah, Thiago was using his power pieces in spurts, and I think Jones was kind of playing pawns a little bit. He was just being a little bit more technical. Not saying that Thiago wasn't fighting a technical fight, because if you look at the performance that Anthony Smith had versus the performance that Thiago Santos, it's very different. Anthony Smith froze in front of John Jones and let John Jones pick him apart. Thiago didn't. What would this fight look like had Thiago not hurt his knee? That's what I want to know. So
Yeah.
I hope the UFC and Dana White and John Jones all feel the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that broke.
Oh.
Oh, I shouldn't have been fucking. Well, I was actually just trying to put it back. But you know what I mean? So, like, I hope that they all feel the same because it would only be right to give Thiago another crack. If he has to win one more, I wouldn't be like, that's fucking outrageous. You know what I mean? I would understand.
Yeah.
But if they even said, you know, I want to see what that fight would look like if Thiago didn't have a fucked up knee. We're running it back.
Yeah.
You know,
be 100%
Yeah.
for the whole fight.
You know, I wouldn't be upset at that either. Because I want to know. Me as a fan. Me as a person. Me, you know. It's me. I want to know. The only shitty part about it is if you rematch with John Jones, it don't go your way.
Yeah, I think...
he finishes you in the rematch.
Yeah, because he knows what he's going up against, and he knows what he can and can't do, and he's gonna watch this fight over, and he'll be like, "Dude, I know where the fuck I can hit him. I know where I can strike."
So there's 2 fights I believe that John Jones has 2 opponents that he's fought twice. Okay, and that's Daniel Cormier and Alexander Gustafsson. Both fights went the distance. Both fights were John Jones' toughest opponents. Both fights in the rematch were finished. And it wasn't even fucking close in the second fight.
Yeah.
It was like he was a completely different fighter because now he has the footage of how he did against you. It's not just how you do in other fights, it's how well I do against you. And I think that's what kind of separates John Jones from everybody else when it comes to rematches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he's the fucking
GOAT.
God, I really hate
he is. Oh, you just said he's the fucking God.
No. He is the fucking New England Patriots of the UFC right now.
The New England Patriots. But they lose. John Jones doesn't lose. Ever. Well, on one judge's scorecard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fuck that person.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's right.
So
one thing that was cool though that I had seen with this victory, John Jones ties GSP with the most title fight victories with 13.
13 title victories.
Lucky number 13, I guess.
Nice.
So
I will say there was no eye pokes, no groin strikes, no knees to a downed opponent, no 12 to 6 elbows, and if my eyes were not deceiving me, John Jones had a guy with an injured knee in front of him, and John Jones did not kick the injured leg.
That I was actually surprised at because a lot of fighters, they see someone get injured,
they go after it.
They go after it because they've got to get that W. So sorry about your leg, boy.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. 2 judges gave it to John Jones. I was all the way in the kitchen for that decision being read because had I not been in the kitchen and John Jones lost, I would have woken up the children. Were they asleep yet?
No, they were.
Well, then I would have killed the children. That's how loud I was going to get.
Ooh, okay.
You know,
well, not for killing children. No.
And we would not kill the children.
No.
But what I'm saying is how loud I would get. I would damage some eardrums. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and I joke when it comes to don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't wait that shit. I joke around a lot when it comes to John Jones. Yes, we're not supposed to pick favorites. We're human. Get over it. Or fight me. Whatever. 2, John Jones is me favorite. So I lean more towards John Jones than I lean towards his opponents. And me no scared to say. Like I'm not like that crazy. If John Jones would have lost, I'd have just been like, fuck, you know what I mean? I don't think I'd cry.
And I would have been like, I called it!
Right?
But no, that's not how it happened.
No, and it won't ever. It won't ever.
I got some
Performance bonuses?
Some performance bonuses.
Ooh, I would do the fucking drums, but I'd be 808ing that shit, so...
Alright, so your performance of the night bonus.
Well, let me guess. Okay, I'm gonna say Jorge Masvidal,
Uh-huh.
Amanda Nunes,
Uh-huh.
Jan Blachowicz,
Uh-huh.
and Song Yadong.
Dude, you looked at this shit before, didn't you?
Bullshit.
You're a motherfucking liar.
And that's all of them?
Yeah, performance of the night went to Song Yadong, John Blachowicz, Jorge Masvidal, and Amanda Nunes.
I have fucking witnesses, bro. I have witnesses that saw the whole fucking thing.
So yeah, congratulations to all those fighters. You guys fucking definitely deserve it. So.
Woo! That's a lot of KOs, man. That's a lot of KOs. Holy
You lose. That's all I gotta say about that.
Alright, well, we're about like an hour and a half into this thing almost. I think we're like hour and 26 minutes. So, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. Next week is UFC Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and are we going to be doing dual cities, or are you coming down?
I'll probably stay.
Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, we're in Tucson right now. Okay, I live in Tucson. He lives in Sierra Vista, which is like 5 towns that way. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 5 towns that way. So it's about like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour and a half drive.
The speed limit.
If you drive the speed limit. So we either do the show when we're together. So pay-per-views, we're always together.
Always.
And then we try to alternate. We'll go to his place, my place. So you might see a different setup. You might see, we'll try to get creative now that we're trying to do this whole video thing. So that's going to be interesting from multiple cities. So, but yeah, the 20th we are going to be in Vista. The 26th we are going to be in Phoenix. That's right.
That's right.
For LFA 72, we're going to be over there. And I'm going to just attach the interviews from the fighters that we're going to be interviewing to the end of these episodes. If you want to see them, go onto YouTube. I mean, you're not going to see anything. You're just going to see like a slideshow presentation that, Sir Jonathan has made for your viewing pleasure. And if you want to hear it, all you got to do is, just keep listening, because I'm just going to put it after we're done here. So, and then I believe soon we're gonna try and get Anthony Burchak in this room. We're gonna try and fucking do that.
Definitely.
He wants in, so hey, fuck it. He's headlining LFA 72, so why not? But the interview at the end of this episode is Mr. Daniel Demigod Madrid. He is co-headlining. Who's his opponent?
Shit, I'm done for good.
Chris Harris. Okay, well, obviously, that was a test.
Dude, I don't remember. I remember to fucking beat the shit out of the 808, but...
Yeah, so he's fighting Chris Harris. They're the co-main event for LFA 72. So I'm going to attach that biatch to the end of this mo effort. And we're going to call it a night. I'm going to go have a beer, and then I'm going to go sleep. So we'll see y'all next time.